Hey guys, and welcome to Dome Candy Games Random Wad Review. You know, I was inspired by John Romero's recent Doom maps, and kind of in anticipation of the new Doom game coming out later this month, I've gotten back into playing the original Doom 1 and 2. In playing through several custom WADs, I decided to start this video series reviewing user-made WADs for classic Doom. I plan on keeping these videos pretty short, but deep enough to give you guys an idea if you'd want to play them or not. With regards to source ports, depending on the WAD, I'll often play them in Brutal Doom, but some WADs, especially those with custom weapons or new textures, are really better served playing with a standard source port like GZDoom without additional mods. Some, especially classic WADs from the 90s, are better served playing in Vanilla Doom or some related classic source port, and I'll be sure to let you know what works best for each WAD. Today's episode, a map called Breach, designed to replace Map 1 for Doom 2. Here played mostly in GZDoom using Brutal Doom. This WAD initially released in 2015, receiving a Cacowards the same year for map design, and it's immediately apparent why. The level of detail in every single room and hallway is remarkable. The author, known as Viggles, apparently hadn't designed a Doom WAD in about 20 years, which is a massive hiatus for such a thriving modding community, but you wouldn't know it. Given that he claims it took him about 5 months to design over the course of 1.5 years, his effort definitely shows. From the very first room's gradated lighting, you know you're in for some impressive detail. Each area feels different while the map as a whole feels cohesive. Even the most basic rooms have extra polygons to soften corners and inset details to give the walls complexity. There's even an outdoor area that has a vista to an unreachable area of the map that makes the level feel more organic. As for the plot, Viggles is concise and to the point, old school style. Just asking the player to assume the usual twaddle about teleportation gone awry. What is also very old school are the textures. These are all the classic textures, simply used in incredibly clever and fresh ways. In many areas, the author has matched geometry to the textures in a way that I've never even seen before. The use of small blood and acid waterfalls adds tons of visual interest to small areas, and since you can pass through them, they never hinder movement. In fact, that can be said for most of the geometry in the map. Even with all this detail, the rooms feel open and flowing, and I never really got hung up on anything during a firefight. Add to this the fact that everything is traditionally built, meaning there are no rooms on top of rooms or slopes or anything that wouldn't properly render in an older source port. So feel free to play this in something like Crispy Doom, which is what I did after a couple of GZDoom playthroughs. It's also optimally played with no jumping. And you don't need mouse look, but I wouldn't necessarily turn that off since you'd miss out on some of the more beautiful details. In several different areas, you get warped into hellish, nightmare-like scenes. It almost reminded me of those drug-induced prologues in the first Max Payne. These are not very interesting mechanically or combat-wise, but they're really cleverly constructed with the use of a straight black texture, and they just look awesome. Some of the most atmospheric areas I've ever seen in a Doom WAD. And again, these are all using classic textures. The secrets were pretty tough for me to find in my first playthrough. There's just so much detail in even the most basic wall that at first it kind of looks like everything can be opened. After some time with the map, I was able to start to discern where the secrets were and where they weren't. Navigating the map is also fairly straightforward. The only area that really tripped me up for a few minutes was a somewhat hidden elevator up to a rocket launcher that opens up the rest of the main room. Combat is also well balanced, and while ultraviolence poses a significant challenge, especially the climactic ending, it's not impossible, and it doesn't assault you with endless waves of cheap and annoying enemies. With smart resource management and good reflexes, you can get it done. Breach, in my opinion, is nothing short of a masterpiece that earned every putrid jib of its Cacowards. Well done, Viggles! It's definitely worth several playthroughs. That's all for Breach. If you've played this map, let me know what you liked or didn't like about it in the comments section. If you haven't, check out the links below. Also, if you know of a WAD that you think I should review, let me know about that too. And as always, thanks for watching Dome Candy Games, because video games are like candy for your dome.